Learning to let go of them sounds simple until you're actually in it. It's not one moment where you decide and it's done. It's more like a slow process. You keep catching yourself still hoping, still checking your phone, still leaving a little room open just in case things change. I remember exactly when it started for me. We weren't official, but it felt like we were building towards something. She'd text back fast some days, full sentences, jokes, actual effort, and then 2 days would go by with nothing. Instead of seeing that as an answer, I treated it like a puzzle, like I just hadn't solved it yet. I thought if I figured out the right way to show up, the right amount of space to give, the right thing to say at the right time, she'd land on me for good. So I started adjusting little things. I texted less when I sensed she needed room, even if I didn't actually want to give her room. I laughed off the plans she canceled. Even the third and fourth time, I made myself easy, low maintenance, no pressure, because I thought that's what would make her choose me. I wasn't lying to her, I was just quietly rearranging pieces of myself, so I'd be easier to pick. Like I was editing myself down to a version that felt safer to commit to. I remember one night specifically, she canceled plans last minute again, said something came up, and instead of being annoyed, I actually thanked her for letting me know. I typed out "no worries at all" whenever works. Like I was proud of how understanding I was being. And I sat there after I sent it feeling kind of hollow, cause some part of me knew I wasn't actually fine with it. I just didn't want to be the guy who made a big deal out of it. I didn't want to be difficult. I didn't want to be the reason she pulled away even more, so I just absorbed it and called it patience. After a while, I started noticing what that was doing to my head. I'd replay conversations looking for the exact line that made her pull back. I'd go back through old texts trying to find the moment where the tone shifted, like there had to be a specific mistake I made. Cause if there was a mistake, that meant I could fix it. I'd wonder if I said too much that one night at dinner, or not enough the next week when she seemed distant. I kept a mental list of every time she almost committed to something and then didn't. Every "we should do that soon" that never turned into an actual plan. Every "I'll let you know" that just faded out. I was building a case in my head for why this was still worth waiting on, like I was collecting evidence for a version of her that I wanted to be true. I'd tell myself she just needs time, she's just busy, she's just not the type to text a lot. Some people are just like that. I was doing the math for both of us, filling in her side of the story so it matched what I wanted it to say, and honestly, I think part of me knew I was doing that the whole time. I just didn't want to know it out loud, cause saying it out loud would have made it real. What I keep noticing looking back is how much of that wasn't really about her at all. It was a pattern I already had before I even met her. I've always been the one who adjusts first, the one who reads the room and shrinks to fit it before anyone even asks me to. If someone seems a little unsure, I get quieter, more agreeable, less like myself. Like I'm trying to remove any reason they'd have to walk away. I thought that was patience. I thought that was being easygoing, being chill, being the low maintenance one, but it's not patience when you're doing it out of fear. It's more like bracing. It's the same thing as flinching before you even know if you're gonna get hit. I was already halfway to expecting rejection, so I started rehearsing for it without even realizing, making myself smaller so it wouldn't hurt as much when it came. And that's the part that actually gets to me. Cause I don't think I even chose to start doing that. It just happens now automatically, like a reflex I built somewhere along the way and never noticed building. I think about how many times I've done that with different people too, not just her, shrinking my opinions so I don't seem too much downplaying how I actually feel about someone. So if it doesn't work out, I can pretend I wasn't that invested anyway, being the one who says it's chill either way when it's actually not chill either way to me at all. And I used to think that made me easy to be around. Now I think it just made me easy to overlook. Cause if you never show anyone what you actually want, they never really have to work for it. And the thing I keep circling back to with her specifically is this feeling of being almost chosen instead of actually chosen. Like I was close enough to matter but never quite enough to be certain. She never said no. She never said, "We're not doing this. This isn't going anywhere." She just kept me in this in-between place where I was always slightly hopeful and slightly unsure. And I think that's actually worse than a clean no. A no ends something, you can be upset about a no. But at least you know where you stand. This just keeps everything open forever, and you keep showing up to a maybe like it's a yes waiting to happen eventually. I wanted certainty so bad that I started mistaking her hesitation for depth. Like, maybe she's just careful. Maybe she's just scared of getting hurt too. Maybe if I wait long enough, she'll stop being unsure, and it'll click for her the way it already clicked for me. I needed there to be a reason that wasn't just her not being that into it. 'Cause that version was too plain, too boring. Too much like every other story I'd already heard from friends, from people online, from my own past. So I kept looking for something more complicated to believe in instead. Something that made it feel less like rejection and more like timing. And I think that's the real thing I've been sitting with lately. Not just missing her specifically, but noticing how easily I can talk myself into almost anything if it means not having to face a plain simple no. How good I've gotten at finding the more flattering explanation. How comfortable I've gotten with uncertainty, as long as there's still a small chance attached to it. And I don't think it's just me. I think this is just what dating looks like now for a lot of people. Everyone's kind of keeping their options open, even the ones who don't mean to. Nobody wants to fully commit to one person when there's always someone else a message away. Someone else who liked your story. Someone else who slid into a conversation at the right moment. So instead of a clean yes or a clean no, you get this in-between thing where someone keeps you around just enough. Not enough to build something real, just enough that you don't leave. Just enough that you keep checking your phone a little more than you should. I think about how many people I know who are stuck in some version of this. A friend of mine has been talking to the same person for almost a year. Not dating, not dating. She brings him up like he's her boyfriend. Then 2 sentences later she says, "I mean, we're not really together though." And I used to think that was rare, like an exception, but it's not. It's kind of the normal thing now. Everyone's got a person like that, someone who's close enough to call something, but never quite close enough to call it real. And I think people don't even do that on purpose most of the time. It's just easier to keep things vague than to actually sit down and say, "This isn't what I want." Vague doesn't feel like rejecting someone. It just feels like waiting to see what else is out there first, keeping the door cracked in case something better doesn't show up. What that does to a person though over time is it messes with how you measure your own worth. Because when nobody's giving you a straight answer, you start looking for smaller and smaller signs to hold on to. A text that took a little longer to respond gets read like it means something. A compliment gets replayed for days, like you're trying to find hidden meaning in it. She double texted me last week. That has to mean something, right? She liked my post within like 2 minutes. She must still be thinking about me. You start needing these tiny moments to prove you're worth someone's time instead of just knowing it on your own. And that's the part that actually gets dangerous, honestly, because your sense of worth stops coming from inside you and starts coming from how someone else is treating you that week. Some weeks you feel great about yourself because she texted first or she asked to hang out. Some weeks you feel like you're not enough at all because she went quiet for 2 days, and none of that actually has to do with who you are. It's just whoever you're chasing and how much attention they decided to give you that day. You start outsourcing how you feel about yourself to someone who isn't even sure they want you in the first place. I remember doing this exact thing, checking my phone way more than I normally would. Refreshing it like something was gonna change if I just looked one more time, and I'd catch myself in the middle of doing something else at work, at the gym, wherever, and I'd think about her out of nowhere and check again. And if there was nothing there, I'd feel this little drop in my chest, like I failed some test I didn't even know I was taking. And if there was something there, even something small, even just a haha back, I'd feel this weird relief. like I passed, and I remember thinking, why am I letting a one-word text decide how my whole day feels? That's not a good sign. That's not what feeling secure in yourself is supposed to look like. At first, I thought all this was about her. I thought if I could just get her to see it, to feel it the way I felt it, that would fix everything. I used to imagine the exact conversation where she'd finally get it, where something would click and she'd realize she wanted this as much as I did. I had that conversation in my head, probably 100 times different versions of it, different words, like I was writing a script for her to eventually say. But it wasn't about her seeing it. It was about me needing someone, anyone, to confirm that I was worth choosing, without me having to shrink myself down to get there. I kept thinking the problem was that I hadn't found the right words yet, the right timing, the right version of myself to show her. But the truth is, some people just aren't going to choose you, no matter what version you show them. And that's not the same as you not being enough. It just means you weren't the match for that specific person. It sounds simple when I say it like that, but it took me a long time to actually believe it, instead of just repeating it back to myself like a script I hadn't fully bought into yet. I think what I actually want now is a lot simpler than what I was chasing back then. I don't want to be almost chosen anymore. I don't want to spend my time editing myself down so someone has less reason to leave. I don't want to thank someone for canceling on me for the 4th time and call it being easygoing. I'd rather hear a plain no early than spend months collecting evidence for a maybe that was never gonna turn into anything real. And I think letting go of her, or of anyone like her, isn't really about stopping caring all at once. It's not some switch you flip one day, it's more about slowly stopping the habit of shrinking. It's catching yourself mid-text, about to make yourself smaller again, about to say, no worries, whenever works, when it actually is worrying you, and just not sending that version this time. It's a small thing every time it happens. But it adds up over weeks and months into something that actually feels like your own life again. I still think about her sometimes, not in a dramatic way, just in a quiet way, like remembering someone you used to know a long time ago. I'll hear a song or drive past a place we went, and there's this small flicker of it, and I don't think that means I haven't let go. I think letting go was never about forgetting her completely, or erasing every memory, like it didn't happen. It was about not needing her to pick me anymore in order to feel okay about myself. It was about being able to sit with a plain no, or even just silence, without needing to turn it into something more hopeful than it actually was. I think that's really what learning to let go of someone means. It's not one clean moment where the music swells and you're suddenly fine. It's a bunch of smaller, kind of boring moments where you stop rearranging yourself for people who were never gonna choose you the way you wanted. And slowly, without even noticing exactly when it happened, you just start taking up your normal amount of space again.